I know you told us before, but just just humor me. IPA DMOs translate por favor.
Yes, income producing activities is an IPA or a really good beer. And then DMOs are your daily mode of operations. The things that you do daily to operate your business.
Okay, KoB. Thank you.
Sure thing. Sure thing. And now this is live on YouTube, so I want to welcome all the YouTube viewers that are coming in here and watching this as a replay. We appreciate you following another one of our Zoom conferences. Today we're talking about the 8 ways to change your mindset. And I hope that you enjoyed today's broadcast. It's going to be an hour long. And if you would like to come in and hang out in one of our Zoom conferences, just message me. I'll get you links and details. And we often stay in here for an after party, kind of an after show. We stay in here and talk about more after we've cut off the recording. So we would love to have you come in and get the full version and even be able to tell us a little bit about your business. So from there, we've got some amazing people in here with us. We've got myself and Andre. We got Christina, Crystal, Kara, Marissa, Melissa, and Triceratops. I love it. So we will also have some other people coming in and out as we go along. But first thing that I want to tell you guys is thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. Good morning to all of you. Happy Monday. I hope we all had a good weekend.
Good morning.
Good morning. Anybody have anything special happen over the weekend that they'd like to talk about? You guys don't all have to fight over it. Just unmute yourself and.
I didn't really do anything this weekend. I just posted several wall drops. I did set Saturday and set Sunday. Posted a little bit to my Instagram. Still trying to build up that. I traveled a lot this weekend, so I try to do sales without being present, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, doing off the scene, out of, ways to sell other than doing just lives.
Right. I scheduled a lot of stuff. Whenever we stopped for fuel or whatever, I would check and then respond and made sure I still made sure I did my birthdays and I posted, an interactive post or whatever, made sure I did that. And then I worked on sets most of the weekend, and followed up with a few people. But other than that, I really wasn't. Yeah, that's what I like about the group, because you can schedule those posts and you don't have to be attached to your phone.
What? That's what I like about this business.
Yes.
Is that you can be an entrepreneur 24 hours a day, but you don't have to be at every minute of the day. Like, right. You can flex and work your schedule to be able to still have your free time, but also still be able to, like you said, stop at the gas station. Not only are you doing what you need to do to either enjoy your day or have your day and your fun time out and about, but even while you're at the gas station, you're still doing those IPAs and checking your messages and checking your wall drops and taking claims, and that's the power of a true entrepreneur.
Right. That's one of my favorite things too.
Awesome. I love it. Anybody else have anything special they did over the weekend? Christina?
So I've been trying to really work on my friends list and my engagement. And so I posted this thing. I had read an article. I'm a nerd. I like to read. And so I read an article where the average age for a first-time mom has increased over the past however many years. And so now the average age of a first-time mom is 26. So
wow.
back when I was in high school, I remember it was much lower, because I don't know, a handful of my $300 or 300 classmates that graduated high school with me, I would say a handful, maybe a couple of handful were pregnant. So I know teenage pregnancy was a big thing. So anyways, I posted this thing about hey, did y'all know that it had increased? How old were you when you were a first time mom? I was 26. Off that one post, I had 123 comments. Not even just like likes or whatever, but people actually, oh, I was this, I was that, da 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 da. And so I was trying to not respond right away, but give it some time and to respond to a lot of those, to where there was all these little mini conversations kind of going on. So I'm hoping that'll pick up my like algorithm thingy or whatever, because I haven't had a post like that in a while.
That's great. And so a tip for you, when you do respond, I'd go in there and I'd respond to a few, but the ones that you respond to, I would make sure are, try to respond to the ones that you don't see on a regular basis. If you see people that are there on a regular basis, like, that you're always responding to, you can skip those couple of people every once in a while here and make sure that you're contacting and talking to the new people that come onto your page, more importantly. And then doing that on, on occasion, so that way it gives time for what you want is you want that post to bounce around your Facebook, right? And so if one person replies to it and then it kind of falls down, and then somebody else replies to it and it pops back up, then so it falls back down, somebody else replied to it, pops back up, then you go and you comment to it, then it pops back up, then a few more people reply. You see how it works? Every time that somebody replies or comments on it, it gets brought back up to the top of your feed again. And so that's why a lot of times when somebody's posting like yard sale posts or things like that, and they want to bring it back up to the top of their post, they type bump, which means bring up my post. Bring my post back up to the top of the wall and let it be seen again. Those kind of activities will definitely help for that. And so I just real curious here, because you had such good results with that, what was your next step? Did you do anything after that?
I posted a few like personal things. I did not post a business post on my personal page until this morning. I was kind of trying to be more of a person, if that makes sense. I feel like since I started paparazzi, a lot of mine has just been paparazzi, or
understandable,
with that at the forefront. So I try to be more people. Like, this is what I did today. Oh, my crazy son is driving me nuts, or something, like not necessarily anything kind of business oriented.
Okay.
But I did today post about the Fab Five that Marissa had posted. And so I haven't seen any, but it's Monday. I know people are back at work, so I haven't seen any engagement off of that one. So we'll see. I posted like, watching the Selena series, because I live in Corpus and that's where Selena's from. That's also where she died, sadly. Yeah, so like stuff like that. That got a little bit. I got an award for Girl Scouts on Saturday, and so
awesome.
So like little like stuff like that humanizes me, I guess.
Right. Well, and what I would just like to add there is that that's all great thinking, and I love it. But one thing that you might want to consider is when you get those high producing, high volume, high comments and likes and things like that, you're getting that activity. An hour and a half to 2 hours later, that's when I would post something about like, hey, if you haven't heard of my VIP group, please join my VIP group. So that way it's not too bold of paparazzi, like, hey, go join my team, something of that nature. But it lets all those people that are fresh to your page, that are now in your algorithms, and that they're now seeing what's happening with you. It gives them that fresh look. That first thing you're doing is saying, hey, if you haven't heard of me, check it out. Why don't you join me? And hopefully that'll inspire a couple of those people to join your page. And then a couple hours later, then do another personal post or something like that. But when you have those high producing posts that create a lot of activity, those are the times that you want to make sure that you do try to bring them into your world, whether you post your website link to your website or your VIP group, or even just doing a simple wall drop to touch base and see what they think, or even a post that says I'm going to be going live tonight or tomorrow or something like that. But when you have everybody coming into the door, that's when you want to pass out your tickets.
Yeah, see, and I wasn't sure how to like, of course, obviously I do want to put the plug in there. I just wasn't sure when or how to do it. And then, so this was probably a little late, but then today I was like, okay, so I plan to go live tonight. So I was trying to think of like a hook, which I haven't had any engagement, but I just put it up like 30 minutes ago, so we'll see.
No, and I'm totally congratulating that already, because it's great that you're getting those kind of results. And here, let me just let you know that when I give you these extra little tips, that's just me as an entrepreneur and a trainer, just trying to help and encourage the next step. Don't take it as that I don't think that you did enough, because trust me, you getting those results is more than enough as far as I'm concerned. And algorithms are tricky. It's almost rocket scientists that create those kind of algorithms paths. You get these scientific scientist guys down there that they calculate all these algorithms for us. We're just doing the work, right? So that's good stuff.
So today I did a hook of like, I bought this thing off of an ad on Facebook, and I didn't say what it was. So I was like, hey, have you ever bought something off of Facebook? I'm going to try this thing out all day today. And if you want to see what it was, join me for my paparazzi live at 8, and I'll share that and share some bling.
Oh, yes.
So we'll see how curious people are to see what it is I got.
I love it. I love it. Kind of like, come check me out and I'll tell you.
Yeah, but you got to, enjoy some bling for a little bit too.
That's good. Hello, Miss June, and hello, Michelle. So does anybody else have anything special that they want to talk about that they did over the weekend before we get started into our topic? June, you're okay? All right, maybe we should have a one-on-one call later. Okay, I'll do that. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to add about this weekend before we get started? I think we're good to go then. So Marissa had done a training earlier today. If you hadn't seen it, of course, I encourage you as always to go back and watch any trainings that any of the leaders do. Your own leader, any of your uplines, make sure that you do that. But today's was kind of cool because she had talked about something that I had already not planned out to speak with you guys as well. And it's because it's just so darn important that your mindset is a big key to your success. Your mindset can make or break you. And so, how many of you are a strong believer that success and happiness are about your mindset? And how many of you believe that your mindset and belief system affect everything in your life, from what you think and feel to what you do and how you react to the world around you? Does anybody disagree with that? Marissa, you have something to say?
I absolutely agree with that, because if you're a negative Nelly, you're going to get negative results. You have to be a positive person and bring in that positive energy and be that positive entity in order for your mindset to work in your favor.
I agree.
Absolutely. I do agree. You have to definitely keep that positive thought, even when you want to say all those negative things. You've just got to say, nope, I can, I will, I must. And
sometimes it's difficult. So
it is.
And that's where it takes the brain power, the mind power of you to overcome your heart. And then when your mind is constantly fighting your heart. I'm sorry?
Every time I pop can, I always have to say it's a Coke, not a beer, I promise. I don't know why. Like, if I'm on a live or something, I'm like, it's not a beer, I promise.
I love it.
Lord knows, and Marissa knows, I've been going through some really tough times this last week. and some large entities are involved in helping me get through this, but it's not going to stop me from doing my business, even though they're trying to. And I'm just going to work around it and find other ways to make it work.
Exactly. And that's what a true entrepreneur does. An entrepreneur doesn't have a path laid out to them that's guaranteed by anyone. An entrepreneur takes all the breadcrumbs that he can find in several paths and makes a path of his own. Right? And then a true entrepreneur that's a leader as well leaves the breadcrumbs for others to follow. So that's good stuff right there. So we're going to talk about the 8 effective ways that you can upgrade your mindset. First thing I want to talk about is change your self-talk. Right? What does this mean to you? Change your self-talk. When you look in the mirror, when you're looking at your phone, when you're talking to yourself, when you're thinking out loud, however you need to do it, you need to have a conversation with yourself and a direct reflection of your mindset, right? If you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough to achieve my dreams, your thoughts will create a relativity, or your thoughts will create your reality, and your mindset will hold you back from having the life you want just because you've already spoken out there. You've already put it in your mind that you're not worthy of it, so you're not going to achieve it because there's no reason to, right? You've already gave up. You've already dropped the towel. You've already said, I'm done with it. I'm not even taking another swing. The game's over before you've even stepped up to bat. So you have to change your mindset. To upgrade your mindset, change your negative self-talk to an empowerment speech. Sounds cliche, but telling yourself, I can do this, or I got this. It really does work. Just those few simple little words, like, if your day's being beat and you feel like you're just about to give up, you do it. I'm going to do it. You know what? Nobody's going to stop me. I'm not going to stop myself. I deserve this. I don't care if anybody else thinks I deserve it. If they don't deserve it, then they don't go get it, but I'm getting mine and I can do it. You've got to change that mindset, and you've got to look at yourself differently in the mirror and say that I deserve to have it. I will have it. I don't only want it, I'm going to get it.
You should see my bathroom mirror. It has about 6 sticky notes on it that has positive affirmations I see every day. And the biggest, most important one to me is, you got this and you can do this.
True that. And hopefully you're looking at them every day. And hopefully when you're looking at them and you're self-talking to yourself, you're believing it, right? Put that out there in a way that's not just like yeah, I can do it. I'm going to do it. No, I can do this. Like it's not going to stop me. And you'll see how much more you'll accomplish, and I'm going to be doing that myself. I'm battling, getting over all of these different, this situation with Corona and trying to regain my strength and get my life back in order. I'm going to be making the big bucks here. I'm going to be a 6-bling boss. I'm a 6-figure bling boss. I'm going to be a 7-figure bling boss. I'm going to be traveling all over to Utah and Florida and Japan and anywhere else that I want to go, because that's what I want to do. And so if I really want it bad enough, I'm going to have to get out of the position that I'm in now. So I understand how easy it is to throw that towel out. I understand how easy it is to say that, this just isn't for me. I'm not the one that deserves this, but I do deserve this. You deserve this, and you're only going to get what you deserved. And so if you're not pushing for it and you're not aiming for it, you're probably not getting it because you don't deserve it yet. You're not working hard enough for it. You haven't proved to yourself, or you haven't proved to anybody else that you deserve it. So nobody's giving it to you yet. Right? When you start showing your teammates, or not even teammates, but when you start showing your customers that you own this business and you are a business and you are making money because of this business, and this business is paying for your car or paying for your cell phone bill or your groceries or being able to take your kids to school, when this business is providing just those smallest little things to somebody else, they're going to want that. And they're going to see that. And you're going to be an example to them that you can do this, they can do this too. And it's all about the mindset. And I'm going to tell you this, your mindset affects other people's mindsets. And we're going to talk about more of that in a minute, because we're just going to, it's on the list here. But don't think that everybody else's mindset can't affect yours and yours can't affect theirs. Your mindset has to be stronger in your own personal feelings of what you want over what anybody else has to say. Anybody got anything to say about that? Anybody have any questions?
I ran into somebody the other day in one of my errands for work, and we always see each other when I go there almost daily. And I asked her, how you doing today? And she said, well, it could be a better day. And I thought to myself, well, she should be saying something different. Like, it's going to be a better day. It started out bad, but it's going to be better, instead of saying, well, it could be a better day. And it was all about her mindset. And all I could think of was, God, I just want to pull her inside and tell her about that. If you think it into existence, it's going to happen. And if you talk negatively, you're going to get negative results.
Yeah. You know what? And that's exactly right. And there's a lot of people that have that happen to them, but I am glad that she's saying it could have been a better day rather than saying, well, it's a crappy day altogether. She at least has partial mindset control there, but that's when you as another person could easily encourage her by saying, just keep the smile on your face and your day will get better. Just a simple something, hey, today may not be the best day, but you're looking good wearing it.
Andre is really good at giving people like a rebuttal to be positive, and almost sometimes to where I'm like, babe, that's kind of okay. Like, leave them alone. Okay. But
you and Sarah are just alike.
Right. And so he'll say something like, how's your day going? Right. He makes conversation with everyone everywhere.
Yep.
So he'll be like, how's your day going? And then the person will be like, oh my gosh, just another day, or a complaint of somehow. Right. And he'll say, well, it can only get better from here. Right. Like, he is putting it out there, but he's saying right because he wants her to agree. Like, right. It's going to get better. Right. Like,
exactly. So. I love it.
So if you leave no excuse, if you leave no option for negativity, most of the time you will get nothing but positivity back. So it's just important just to put it out there. And that's why, especially when I'm on the phone with someone or customer service, they get nothing but, not nothing but most of the time they get people angry at them or somebody saying what they did wrong or blah, blah, blah. And sometimes when I ask people, because I ask it every time. But sometimes when I ask people, how's your day going today? They get weird. Like, what? What can I do for you, sir? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not used to it because the positivity doesn't come as far as often. So when you give it to them, they're already ready to give you the best service that they possibly can, just because you care.
And it's so funny, Dre, that me and you are just alike, bro, because I could call our Comcast person and complain about my internet service, but I do it in such a way that this person's pleased with me the whole way through, right? And we're having an actual conversation and we're talking about video games or cars or whatever. And by the time we're done, Sarah's like, did you guys share each other's Christmas card lists or something? Like you guys are talking like you guys are buddies in here. Yeah, and I'm not even kidding you. She does that to me every time.
That's because you took their mind off of it. So now they're not working. They're enjoying themselves and they're doing you a favor. And they're cool with it.
They almost don't want to end the call.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sarah is reminding me, we had to call stamps.com because our printer was acting up and we couldn't get our labels to print. So I had to call stamps.com, and I was talking to this lady and she was just being the nicest ever. And we were just having this great conversation. And by the time we were done, she had pulled up our Facebook page and joined our Facebook group and became a customer of ours.
I remember that. I remember her telling me that. And it's so funny how if you use those customer service people for good, like, how's your day going today? Right. And then if you transition what you do, a lot of times, like, they'll be like, oh, are you off today? And I use that as my in. Actually, I work from home. I sell paparazzi jewelry. Have you ever heard of it? I just make it an ease in conversation, and they will join you on social media. I've had many customer service people add me as a friend on Facebook while I'm on the phone with them.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. So does anybody else have anything to add to that as far as being able to change your self-talk? I think we're good. All right, so we're going to move on to changing your language. So after changing your inner thoughts and the dialogue and the story that you're telling yourself, you have to change the way you talk to other people. Avoid the phrases like, I'm always like this, or I'm always doing this, right? Like if we mess up, oh my gosh, I'm always doing this. Oh my God, I don't understand. Why am I always like this? Right? When we say those type of things for each other or to one another, those things are inhibiting our mindset as well, right? And we want to avoid those phrases because we want to encourage a growth in our mindset. So make it a habit to talk about the things that are going well in your life instead of complaining and talking about the problems. It'll encourage a mindset of abundance instead of fear and lack, right? If like somebody came up and we'll use your example, Michelle, and you said, hey, how are you doing today? And that person says, it's going, or it'll be okay, or something like that. I mean, why not reach out for and make that person's day well as too, by changing your language on how you're reacting to your own day and how you're acting to yourself. Like, oh, I'm having a great day. Today I was able to wake up and get my kids off to school and had 5 minutes to spare instead of being 10 minutes behind like usual, right? It's a small accomplishment, but it's an accomplishment. And that accomplishment means that you've done something correctly or you're doing something right, right? So brag about your accomplishments if you need to boost yourself up in your mindset. If all you have to worry about today is the fact that, I had 10 things to do today and I only got 8 of them done, you know what? Congratulate yourself that you got 8 out of those 10 done. Instead of looking at it as I missed two things that I needed to do, I didn't get them done. Well, you know what? You didn't get them done, but you did 8 of those. So congratulations to you. Now we got to add those to what you have to do tomorrow, and we move on. We don't dwell in it. We don't hold it back. We don't let it hold us back. And we damn sure don't give up because we didn't finish those 2 things. Right? We're going to work until the very end of the day. Just because at this point right now I haven't finished accomplishing those 2 things doesn't mean that my time is up until the day is up. Right? So you got to change your mindset, but you also got to change your language and the way you talk to people. Bring out that productive and that motivating side rather than the negative Nancy side or the Debbie Downer side or the Karens. And don't let the Karens affect you and your language. If you run into a Karen and they're just going to be a Karen, then let them. You don't have to be involved with their life once you walk away from them, right? Let them be a Karen. If you have people in your own personal lives that are bringing you down, you know what? First, tell yourself that you can handle it. Their opinion of what they think that they know about you doesn't need to change who you are or what you know about yourself. Excuse me. And if it becomes persistent enough, maybe you need to tell them. But if you're doing it with yourself, they're going to see it, right? And hey, you already know haters going to hate. People don't like seeing other people coming up when they're struggling themselves, right? So that's another part of this, the mindset and being able to be with the people of the same mindset. We're going to still talk about that in just a second. Is there anything that anybody can add to that? That was number 2. If you got pen and paper, you want to build it, change your language.
So like I resonate so much with that because a lot of the time it's kind of like a fault of mine. But a lot of the time something happens and I'm like, why is this my life? Like that's just, I don't know why I do that, but that's just something I do. And I didn't really even realize that I was doing that until you said that. So that's kind of an eye opener for me.
Well, it's another one of those things that, like we've talked to you about before, and I know Melissa uses it because Melissa's one that I hear say this all the time. It's not I have to, I get to. I don't have
Right.
to go pick up my kids at 2 o'clock this afternoon, but I get to go pick up my kids at 2 o'clock. Now it sounds like a reward or a treat instead of a chore or a job. Right. And we can just those simple words, just changing our language is going to change how we take things, whether the cup's half full or the cup's half empty.
Yeah, I
And I apologize, guys. I'm coughing so much. I'm out of water and
I didn't get to pick up my kids before. Like I was that single mom working 12-hour shifts, rotating days and nights and weekends. So like that's one of my main points that I talk about when I do like any kind of opportunity live or anything like that. Like that's what I speak on because I didn't get to put Riley to bed. I didn't get to do bath time. I didn't get to wake up early and take her to school. And like now that's my life. Like now I get to. So like I resonate very, very much with that too.
Perfect. I love it. So if you got paper and pen and you're writing these notes, the third thing that we want to talk about is determine the mindset you need and act as if. Right? Act as if. Pick a goal you want to achieve and ask yourself, which mindset do I need to achieve this goal? Which mindset do people have that were successful at this goal? For example, healthy and fit people might share the mindset that I love taking care of my body, nourishing it with whole foods and exercising every day. And I want my body to be my temple. I want my body to be just full of nothing but good, organic, wholesome material, right? And if it's your goal to be healthy and fit, act as if you already have the mindset of a healthy and fit person, right? You're gonna count your steps and you're gonna be more mentally aware of those things that you're going to be doing to achieve those things. You're going to be more mentally aware that you got up the steps faster than you've ever got up the steps before, or that you were able to get from one point to another point faster than you've been able to get before, or without the tiresome that you've had before. If I can relate to this one, especially when it comes to working out, because there's been times that I'm trying to strengthen and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till this is over. But then on the other hand, if I flip my mindset and I look at it like I'm halfway through and I've only got halfway left and I can do this, it makes it easier for me to achieve that. But if I sit on the fact that I feel like I'm not going to make it, or this isn't going to work for me, or like, oh my gosh, I wish it was done, then I'm going to just continue to wish it was done when I finish my last 5. Finish those last 5 strong, knowing I can do it. And then when you do it, you're going to feel like, hey, I achieved it, I accomplished it, and I've done it. This way, you're basically tricking your brain to adapt a new mindset and you're reinforcing it with action, right? You guys, you know what I mean by that? You're tricking your brain to adapt to that. And so instead of you automatically being one of those that are pessimistic and think that the glass half empty, you are already looking at it as that it's half full. For like us, as entrepreneurs and business people, we need to look at what we do daily and ask ourselves, like, when we are not focused on our business and we catch ourselves not being focused, we need to say, like, oh wait, is what I'm doing right now an income producing activity, an IPA? Or have I been doing my DMOs? Am I being consistent? How is my attitude? Instead of I have to, I get to. right? All of those things mold together, guys. And it's not just the once or twice that we use these, it's the more and more that we use these things that we're going to build these habits. And then once we build these habits, we're going to stack to newer habits, bigger habits, more habits, habit stack, habit stack, habit stack. Hello, Angie. Welcome. We're talking about the 8 ways to change your mindset. And we're wrapping up with the 3rd way right now. So you'll want to go back and watch the replay for the first 3.
Thank you.
If you got paper and pen, you might want to take some notes.
I'm ready.
But welcome. So when we're determining the mindset and need to act as if, what do I mean when I say act as if? I know Dre knows. Anybody have anything in there for act when I say to act as if?
Well, even if you're having a bad day or things aren't going your way, you have to always say, you know, if somebody asks you how you're doing today, you say, I'm fabulous. Like my voicemail on my phone says, have a fabulous day at the end every day. And it's all about what you're putting out there, your mindset. You have to, if you say it enough, it's going to happen that way. And that's how I deal with the negative things. I look at them as a challenge. Okay, I can do this. I can get past this. But yeah, you have to put that fabulous, you have to put that positive energy out there, and that's how you get through.
Right. And so if you act as if you're having a good day, they don't necessarily need to know whether you are or aren't, right? They're going to automatically assume that you're having a good day because you acted as if you're having a good day. And if you act as if you're a boss of a company, you're going to be treated like the boss of a company. If you act as if you're a kid, you're going to be treated as if you're a kid, right? You got to act as what you want to be treated as, you know, and like they say, sometimes you got to fake it until you make it.
Yo, that act as if is some strong words, man. That act as if is something else. If you got that in you, to utilize that and to remind yourself that on a daily, that act as if is powerful. It's powerful for yourself, and it's also powerful for those around you. So when you act as what you would like to be, or you act like the elite leader that you want to become, you will become it faster than you would have not acting as if.
Exactly. And let me tell you this, guys, the as if, okay, how many of y'all can give me an example of something like as if, where like just asking yourself a simple question can change your day? I remember something that was huge, like 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. And it was everywhere. And it's 4 letters. Can anybody tell me what I'm talking about?
WWJD.
WWJD, baby. What would Jesus do? And it's the exact same principle. If you ask yourself, what would Jesus do in this situation? And you do like Jesus do, it's the same thing here. If you ask yourself, what would you do as a business owner? And you do it like a business owner, it's the same thing here. Right? So ask yourself, what would Jesus do? What would I do? What should I do as a business owner? And act as if. So pick a goal pick a goal you want to achieve and ask yourself, okay, I already said that. So does anybody have any questions about that part of it? Do we get the act as if, and are we going to act as if? Or are we going to wait till the time comes and then learn how to act it? I mean, because straight up, like when I get into these training sessions with you guys, I know I'm not nobody's teacher. I know I'm not nobody's like principal or like your coach necessarily, but I'm going to act as if, because I'm going to take that role right now, and I hope to teach you something.
But you're supposed to act as if. You can act as if you are a teacher. We like it.
Exactly.
We love it. We love it.
Exactly. And you know what? And it's hopefully you guys that are going to be seeing to do these same things, right? When we give you these cups of knowledge, man. You got to drink them. You got to drink them and implement them.
Mommy, look at him. He's just watching my Zoom.
He
So-
looks so interested.
He really does, huh?
He's so adorable.
What's his name?
Ethan. I mean, Ethan. James. His name is James.
James. What's up, James? You gonna be an entrepreneur too?
Yes, he is.
Act as if you're two. Right? We ain't got to be doing this diaper thing. Act as if you're two. No, I'm kidding.
For real, huh?
Okay.
Yay.
So next, number 4, identify and overcome your personal mental blocks. Listen, guys, this is a key one for a lot of you. We all have certain limiting, we all have certain limiting beliefs that hold us back from realizing our full potential. Most of those mental blocks are created in our childhood when we learn to see the world in a certain, sometimes limiting way. What we see, hear, and experience, especially with financial scarcity, becomes our default and our filter for reality. And when we go through life creating more of the same experiences that match our view of the world, identifying and overcoming your own specific mindset blocks is one of the most effective ways to completely transform your mindset. Did anybody understand what that meant? Go ahead, Angie.
Okay, so for just a quick question, where are you reading all this from? Is it like from a book?
No, I watch a lot of like YouTubes late at night for like motivation and like leadership and things like that. And over the weekend I watched and read a few articles, and I picked and pulled a lot of my favorite pieces out of it.
Okay. So identify and overcome your personal mental blocks. I think that's huge. I wanted to share basically, or I wanted to ask everybody maybe what they would identify. So my mental block now is, my mental block used to be could procrastination be a mental block?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, huh? Procrastination. So I think that would probably be my mental block that I struggle with, which would be procrastination. So it's like basically,
I think what this is about though is this is more about the things that led you to procrastinate.
okay.
Right? Like what caused those problems to have you get that result, and how are you now changing it?
Okay, so fear of failure would probably be one of them.
Yep, that would be a great one.
And then now how I'm changing is that I no longer have that fear of failure. So, but the procrastination habits are still there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so
and that's where habit stacking comes in so importantly. Because if you start, and anybody that doesn't already know, I talk about habit stacking a lot. Habit stacking is the ability to take a habit daily and can do that habit daily or consistently every day. And then once you've evolved that and you have that habit ingrained in you, you continue to build more and more positive habits daily. And you stack those habits onto each other until your daily routine is pretty much played out by habits.
That's
right?
really.
Now, a lot of people that say they live life on a whim and they take it by a spur of the moment and spontaneous and this, that, and the other. It's great to have spontaneity and to think on the spur of a moment. But it's also more beneficial for you to have a planned outline because of the habits that you need to do every day to get you those results. So when we're talking about this, though, when you settle for less because that's what you're used to, right? So like if you let's say you were brought up like myself and you didn't have much money, right? Your mom and dad didn't have much money, so oftentimes you had to wear some of the clothes that other kids would make fun of, or you had to eat the foods that other kids wouldn't want to eat, or you had to ride the bike that wasn't the popular bicycle, right? Because that's just the situation that you were in. And instead of making the best of it, right, which we don't normally do, especially as children, right, when we're being picked on and bullied by our friends that have better, 9 times out of 10, we retreat to the fact that, well, that's all I can afford. That's all I can get. That's all I can have. And we learn to ration more than we learn to produce, right? If at that age, when we started realizing that, man, mom and dad can only buy me the Payless Shoe Source shoes, and, I want to go in there with some new Nikes, but if I mowed a couple lawns, I could probably go get me a pair of Nikes. That would cause us to do something productive that would give us the money to be able to go buy those shoes that would make us feel confident, right? But a lot of us at that time don't choose that because we have so much of that on us at times, especially as a child. And that's why these things develop as a child and they become blocks. They become those mental blocks because you start feeling like, you know what, we only have so much of this and we have so many of us in the family that I'm going to take my little bit, you're going to take your little bit, and you're going to take your little bit. Instead of maybe us working as a family and getting more. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yes,
That's really, really interesting. That's really good. So
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. For sure. I agree with that, Chris. And I think too, then as adults becoming entrepreneurs, deciding to take that leap, that becomes, we can hesitate. People can hesitate when it comes time to invest in your business. It's like, oh no, is that the right choice? I don't know. Freak out. Maybe not. I don't know. Am I going to get that return? Right.
And then you're insecure again. And now you're feeling, and now you have all of the negative
second guessing yourself.
Right. All that stuff comes back. That's definitely something I went through too. I mean, my mom had me at 15 years old. She was a single mama. And that was back in the time where you didn't, teen pregnancy wasn't the norm like now.
Right.
There wasn't.
And we struggled. We for sure struggled. But but the cool thing is if you did experience that as a kid and you've learned to overcome it throughout life, then you are a better leader because now you can coach your team when you see those struggles, because I have a few on my team that we've come from the same background and they've opened up to me. Then I know better how to help them navigate through that. And I know how to tread better with them instead of like go hard and invest like I can for the people that are married, making a 6-figure income on my team that don't need paparazzi to make money. How I connect with them is totally different than I do from the girl who came from the hood like me.
Angelina.
So
talk that talk. That's some leader. Hey, that's some leader talk right there. You're identifying the differences between your different people because everybody's different and they all communicate.
Absolutely.
They all speak a different language. We all speak English, but I'm saying like it's a different language, different dialect, I guess you could call it, right? So we all learn different ways.
Yeah, that's true too. Some people learn from consequence, or I have one kid, for example, that is motivated by I don't want the consequence, and the other one isn't fazed by the threat of a consequence. Like, that don't bother me, I can handle that. Where she's more motivated by positive. What am I going to get out of the deal? Whatever. So it's kind of the same thing, especially too when you're talking about inventory packages. Those of us that come from broke get nervous about presenting a heftier inventory package, and we might pitch, it's only $99 to start your own business. Well, listen, are you setting them up for success?
Yeah.
So I was just coaching some of my team yesterday because my newest girl that signed up the other day, I would have never expected that she was ready to go in at a $299 inventory pack, just based on what. Armando, get it together. You got a choice. Like I tell my kids, you got a choice, positive or negative consequence. What's it going to be?
Right. And you know what? I would say this with those. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish up.
No, that's all good. No, I was just going to say, I wasn't expecting her to come in hard, but I asked questions and I said, what are your goals? What do you want? You just want to dip your toe in the water and see what's up and want a discount? Is that, she's one of my heavy spenders for jewelry every week. I said, it's all good. You can be transparent with me. She said, no, I want to do vendor events. I just moved to Reno. We have a huge vendor scene. And a matter of fact, she said, I know somebody who works for the city and I just got a spot at the state fair. And I decided I want to take paparazzi to the state fair. I'm like, okay, now.
Look at this. That's so dope.
So then I said, okay, well, listen, when is that event? She said, June 12th. I said, okay, here's the deal. Shipping's taking a minute. So I want to set you up for success. So here's your options. She said, well, I don't want to go there with her.
Hold on. Yeah. You guys see that? She preemptive striked it already. So what that means is she foresaw a possible issue that could happen. She hit it on the head before it happened. That way, the consultant at that point says, "No, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to her. It ain't a big deal to me, right?
We'll plan around it.
Yep, we'll going.
Plan around it."
So then I said, okay, well, that's a good idea because you're going to get X amount of pieces that should carry you through. If you're in a position, I would order more inventory because you're probably going to move that pretty quick because you're in such a huge scene, right? And so that prepared her for, her next steps. But a lot of times we could impose the financial insecurity that we might either be in or we came from and push that on these potential, business partners. And then they sign up and then they get discouraged because shipping's taking a minute. But we can help them get through that if we ask the proper questions.
Yes. Also, man, I love that. That was great. But also, I was going to say, and then, like you said, you never would have thought that she would have signed up with the $299 kit, right? So this is the thing, we have to be careful not to spend out of someone else's pocket.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's some people, that might go over your head. But let me explain to you what I mean by that. We can't spend someone else's money like it's our own. We can't assume that, oh man, you know what? Everybody's going to want the $99 kit. Because there are people out there that don't want the $299 kit. There are people out there that would like to take this and make this a career choice from the jump. And they may want the $499 kit. You know what I mean? Because they may be able to afford that to invest in themselves, or
Amen.
They may see the power in this business. You may have sold them this business so well that they understand the potential that they could have if they were to start off strong.
Yep. Right.
So do not be so quick. Just offer the opportunity always, for sure. But just don't always be so quick to cheapify it with the 99 kit. You know what I mean? Because you never know who's out there and what they're willing to do.
Yep. I don't even tell them the prices yet. I just say, what are your goals? I just ask them what their goals are. What do you want to do? What do you see how do you plan on slinging the bling?
That's awesome.
That's
Take
what I
notes,
ask
everybody, because that's great. That's a great question to ask.
And then based on what they tell me, oh, well, I just buy a lot and I think I want to sell to my neighbor and my family. Okay. And then if that's the answer, I don't just say, okay, I say, all right, well, then after that, though, big picture in 6 months, do you think you would want to go live? Do you think you would want to do a flea market or whatever? And then if they tell me, you know what I do, then I give them their other options.
Exactly. So, Marissa, you had something to say, hon?
Yes. So I wanted to say that, what I've heard from a lot of different people is, look at how we think that the $499 kit is big and it's the big package, and maybe it's intimidating to push that and to mention this to people. And gosh, you're asking people to spend $500. Do you know how much it is to start up a business? It's really expensive to start up a business. And so $500 to start a business that gives you a website, that gives you inventory, that gives you training, that gives you all of this for $499 and a convention ticket. Anybody who buys one now, it will be for the next year. So it's almost like you have to look at it like, wait, that $4.99, you get a business. I'm gonna tell you guys, when someone spends $4.99, they're a way different consultant than if they spent $99. So those are my thoughts.
Definitely, and there's no doubt about that. And I'm glad that you said that, because I never really realized that either, or put mind to that like you couldn't start any business really for less than $500 that would give you especially as much as paparazzi is going to give you. If you decided that you wanted to sell hot dogs in a hot dog cart, you have to buy a cart, then you have to buy hot dogs, then you have to buy buns and ketchup and mustard and relish and drinks and chips. And by the time you've invested into that business, you've got $5,000 to $10,000 sitting there at the end of your car, hooked to a trailer that's could easily be wiped out in the next corner that you take. And here for $500, we're going to give you a business that you could turn around and make $1,000 with. That's powerful. That's powerful. It's something to think about. And here's the thing, guys, when you're promoting the $99 kit, I mean, if we're promoting this in a way that we teach, separate your money and reinvest your money and don't use your household personal funds, taking $500 investment from their household may not be so bad when they realize they won't have to take any more out of their household unless they choose to, if they follow the program the way, we teach. So that's good stuff. I'm glad that you had mentioned that. So we're finishing up this this section right here, which was identifying and overcoming your personal mental blocks. And like I said, that has to do with a lot of the mental blocks that we've been programmed. Like we have to program our mind to think differently than what we've been pre-programmed. All the thoughts that you're thinking right now when you're thinking that you can't do it, or you're too tired to do it, or anything that's keeping you on that, Debbie Downer mode, or just not feeling it in a positive way all the time. Those are the things that have been led over years and years of your practices. So it's going to take practice and practice and practice to change those habits and create that mindset that's going to overcome all of those mental blocks. It's let me tell you this too. A lot of us that are used to cutting corners, okay? If you're one of those people that are used to cutting corners, if you're used to procrastinating on paying your bills until they're so due that they're about to be shut off, and then you're making payment arrangements because you're eking by, because you're in those habits, and those habits are something that you formed of your own, when you cut those corners, rather than taking the longer route, right? And what I mean by that is like, so your bills are due, but you also wanted to go to the movies on Friday. So you decide to go to the movies and you let this bill fall behind because you're having your wants come in before your needs. Does that make sense? And so you're choosing the most incorrect path that you need to at that moment. But that's because that's what we're kind of brought up to do, right? We follow those habits. And so when we cut those corners, instead of taking that long route, we don't see the benefits of the long route. And we miss those opportunities. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? So next I have 5. Remember, we have 8 of these, so we got a couple more to go. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, but these are definitely important. Number 5, if you got pen and paper, is learn and apply. Learn and apply. Remember, guys, when I talked about like filling up your cup, you can get so much information from these trainings if you just keep pouring and pouring and pouring the information in, but not implementing it, then eventually you will get like overload, right? And then you will be so corrupt because you don't know which road to take. because you've heard so much information and now it's just a big wreck in the middle of your brain because you haven't been implementing any of them, so you don't know which paths to follow. Anybody feel like that sometimes? I'm sure we all do, right? We get overwhelmed, we get overcome, and that's why you have to build these habits. That's why you have to create habit stacking situations, and you have to have that mindset, because it doesn't take much to throw it off course. And once it's off course, with all that you've been taught and all that we are teaching you, it's like throwing a match on a keg bomb. Boom. It's just going to blow up on you, because you have to be implementing what you're taught to create those habits. Right? Did anybody hear that jackpot bell go off in their head when that's said? That you have to implement what you're taught to create these habits. And if you're not implementing what you're taught to create these habits, nothing will change.
It's just like in one ear and out the other at that point.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's so true, not only for me, but I mean, for all of us, I'm sure. In one way or another, if we look deep down in ourselves, we can take blame in knowing that there's parts of these trainings and there's parts of this business and there's parts of being a CAO in this company and in our lives that we're not doing 100%. We're not working 100%. Melissa knows. She is one of the very first people that I see go live and will say, I didn't give my 100% today. I gave 85% and I was hoping to get my 100, but I didn't get it in. But the day's not over. I still can.
Yep. You know,
so
you know who those ones that are going to be the no matter what, and the ones who don't make you feel like you're wasting your breath. Don't be one of those people. I think that the worst thing that you can do to someone who is an upline or a leader or somebody that you're taking their time for your better, and the worst thing you can do is not take that knowledge and implement it. It's like it will make that leader, upline, whoever, mentor feel like they're wasting their breath.
And not only that, but how good do you think that leader feels when they look down and see, okay, they see you next week doing what they've told you to do, and they see you moving up because of it? They're going to be so proud of you.
Oh, that feels so good. I tell Andre all the time, like, oh, that's the good stuff. She got it, or she did this. She got a new consultant, or she sold X amount of pieces on live. Like, I legit get excited for people, like, because
that's what, same with me and Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Same with me and Sarah. We'll get a message. She'll message me and be like, hey, did you see the message just now that so-and-so sold so many pieces? And I'm like, yes, I was just in there about to answer. You know, like, it's crazy that. Go ahead, Drake. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's the natural helper in you to feel that way. Value, and it's worked out. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro. And that helps out with someone, because, you know, we don't just, you know, this isn't charity work, guys. This is community service here. You know, we're not just doing this, you know, for you know, some of us are doing this for different reasons, obviously. But, you know, some of us are doing this we're really trying to help other people. We really want to see other people. And you know what? When I help somebody, you know, just like for Marissa helps somebody, it makes her feel great. When I feed somebody, I feel great. When somebody loves it and they're like, oh my God, they so good. Like, that's everybody's love language is different, you know? When I feed someone, they're like, yo, that was so good. Like, thank you so much. Like, that's my love language. That feels good to me. You know what I mean? So, you know, find out what you like and then do that, you know? Do that. And then you're doing it for you. It feels good.
For sure.
You don't want to become an ask hole.
Exactly.
You know what that is?
That. I heard Taylor Kirby say. I heard Taylor Kirby call somebody an asshole one time, and I was like, "Did he just cuss on a live?" And then I had to listen to it again in the replay, and he said, "Don't be an asshole," and that's exactly. An asshole is somebody that asks questions but don't do anything with the answers.
Exactly.
It's like they ask a question and you're throwing your answers into an empty hole.
Bro, check this out.
I love it.
Right now.
Oh, I know.
Hey, my kids are gonna be telling their teacher my mom calls me an asshole. Just kidding.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
We're about to get a phone call.
Yeah, when I first heard him say that, is that where you heard it too, Michelle?
No, I've always known it. But I did hear him say it the other day when I watched one of his motivational speeches. But it's ASK and then whole, because you're asking for information, but you're not using it and you're not taking that information. So why even ask? You're wasting everybody's time.
Amen. Amen.
I resonate with people because I think that's killer. Like you don't want to waste someone's time. You know, you don't want someone to waste your own time, and also you don't want to waste your own time. Like, what's the point of getting advice from someone if it's not going to turn around as a utilization? That does not mean you have to take every bit of advice that you get from every single person. It's not that. It's not what I mean. But if somebody's giving you some good advice that you asked for, you got some good advice out of it, they try to make sure that you put it to use, because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, like where does my advice count to you on your ladder? Is this advice to you important enough for you to put down any other thought for a minute and listen to what I have to say? Or is this just because there's not SpongeBob on TV right now?
Yeah, because it's not, I mean, I'll ask some of my girls, like, are you looking for someone to tickle your ears, or do you want the truth, right? Because not everything's going to be glitter and butterflies and sugar coated. Like, if we need to grow, then we do have to do stuff that feels awkward in the moment. But like Marissa always says, trust the process. And so, yeah.
Exactly.
If you're comfortable every single day, I guarantee you're not growing. I guarantee it. You can't be comfortable every single day. You got to do something uncomfortable. Something is like, I don't really want to do that one.
You know what? And it's funny that you say that, Dre, because as all of you will find out if you don't already know, it's one of those situations that once you start building yourself to create a better you, and you start reaping the rewards of it, and you start making the money, when you start letting off the gas and that's falling off and it's fading away, oh, trust me if you don't feel it. Trust me if you don't feel the momentum of the positivity over the drag of the strain. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. And it just even just like when I see you guys grow, you know, I see some people grow and they hit their rank and man, hit their goal, and they're so excited about it. It's awesome. It's fun. And they're like, where are they at? What happened? What's going on? You can't get comfortable. I mean, you know, you just can't. You gotta if your goal is your next rank, your goal's not high enough. Your goal's your next rank, your goal's not big enough. You gotta set a bigger goal for yourself, so that way when you hit that next rank, your goal doesn't feel achieved. You don't feel like you're done. So you have to have more than that. You know,
and every month those goals should change.
Like I was saying, I'm about to hit bronze, life of the party, and my next goal is gold, because I know silver comes next, but if I put myself at the higher goal, then at least I'll hit a happy medium. And once I hit that, I'll be even more motivated and excited to keep going.
I agree. And here's the thing, guys. Like Dre was just talking about it and the goals, and I might have cut him off. If I did, I apologize. But I was saying, you know, that's why it's so important. Like Marissa asks every month for you guys what your goals are. And if your goals aren't changing every month, then you're not meeting your goals. Your goals should change every single month. And when once you obtain those goals, you guys got to see that we've got a little over a month before the brand new year starts now. You guys aren't brand new no more. None of you that are in here haven't been in this business for not long enough to know that everything structured, you're going to get better success. So if you look at the chart right now and you say, you know what, next year, this is the goal that I want to set, and I want to be life of the party gold or diamond or black diamond. You know, I mean, be realistic with yourself. You know, it is going to take an achievement. It's going to take work, right? And it's not just going to be handed to you because you want black diamond, right? What can you do? What do you think you can make yourself get next year? Look at that. And then on July 1st, start your plan. But right now, what you want to do is, if you want to be life of the, let's say you want to be life of the party diamond, okay? That's where you want to be at. Then Marissa and I, or any of your uplines, if they don't know, they can come to us and we can give it to them. But there are calendars already pre-made of what you need to do every month to, at the end of the year, hit that level. And if you want to know where you want to be and how to get there, we can help you. And it doesn't matter if it's life of the party or if it's the Crown Club or if it's growing your team. We can help you guys, but you have to use what we give you and implement it. And that's what all this is about, learning and applying what you're taught. Because setting these goals, setting these habits, those are what's going to make you a successful entrepreneur. That's what's going to build your business and have you grow to an unstoppable degree.
Yep, and I want to say something else about goals. You know, be careful that you're not lying about your goals. Now, I don't mean that in a mean way, okay? So I want to explain what I mean. Don't get asked what are your goals by your leader and then just spit something out just so that it's there. Like I did it, there you go, I gave you a goal. Nah, really think about it, because if you give a false goal, you're not lying to your leader, really, you're not. You're lying to yourself. At the end of the day, if you're just saying that that's what you want, just to say it, it may not be exactly what you truly want. And the goal of goal setting is putting down something that you really want to get. Even if you feel like, man, that's going to be hard. Or I don't want to say that because that's going to be really hard. Well, you know what, though? Sometimes that may be the one that you want to put down. Because, you know, if you really want to, I don't care if it's a Lamborghini. If that's what you really want, okay, well, let's figure out what we got to do to get that Lamborghini. Because we can break it down by pieces if you really wanted to. We can break it down. Like, how much is the monthly car payment going to cost? Okay. How much is that going to cost per week? How much pieces is that going to take per day? So we can break any goal down. As long as it's your real goal, you'll go for it. If it's your real goal, it's what you really want. So make sure and revisit your goals and see if that's what you really, truly want.
And are you working to get that goal? Because I totally love what you're saying, Dre. Are you actually doing the work? Because that's where I fail, and a lot of times. And I'll straight up admit to you that I fail, because I know that I'm human just like the rest of you guys. And my intentions may be good, but am I taking the right steps? Right? And so that's why I'm trying to not only teach you guys these things, but I'm trying to learn them myself. I'm trying to implement and drink these same cups of information that I'm feeding to you guys. You know, so don't think that you're alone in this by far at all. Like, I don't have this all down pat myself. This is the learning curve. I've never been an entrepreneur at this level. I've been a trainer for other people, and I've been bosses for other people, and I've been salesmen for other people, but I've never had to carry my own weight on it. This is the first time I've ever had to be all of the above for myself. And so, you know, a lot of times that I can tell you, no, I'm not working 100% to my potential. But but I'm trying to increase that potential every day, right? I'm habit stacking. I'm trying to change this habit so that eventually, because look, you're not going to change all your habits overnight. That's what all this is about, guys. This all compiles together. You're not going to change every one of your bad habits overnight and be a positive 100% happy-go-lucky business entrepreneur that's working their algorithms 24/7, that's dropping their lives every day, that's doing their speed lives, that's doing their ball drops, that's doing their pre-sales. Like, you're not going to be able to do all of that in the flick of a switch. And so that's why you have to take one step at a time and chisel out the worst ones and replace them with the most effective ones, and slowly work and eventually your habits are going to over succeed what you're doing now. Okay?
That's real. Because you're not going to wake up in the morning and just become a boss. And real talk, you have to realize that not just for you, but for your team underneath you. Because sometimes when you sign people up, they're going to sign up and they're going to expect to be you automatically. And that's not going to work. You have to understand that this may happen. They may sign up and just be like, I went live, but I didn't have 40 people on. What happened? What's going on?
Exactly.
Something's wrong. Listen, that way. If you don't believe me, go back and look at my first live. I had 2 people on, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And boom, you know what I mean? So these are important. You know, Chris, you're absolutely right. Like this isn't hard. I mean, this isn't easy to do like this. You know, it's easy to be doing it. You know, like my biggest thing is consistency. That right now, I've told you before. I'm still working on it. Like, you know, I'm still working on it though. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm still working on it. You see what I mean? That's why I'm
you will
right
never
now.
stop working on it.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the thing though. Just because we say we're working on it, are we really working on it though? It's something that we may change, but are we actively working on changing it though? Just because we say it don't mean we're actually doing it. Here right now, everyone now is working on something right now, actively right now, because you're here. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like so make sure you can keep it up with the working on it instead of just the saying you're working on it. Because this right here, this is proof that's in the pudding. We're all doing this right now.
Exactly. And my biggest goal for all of you guys is to make sure that, like, everything that I'm learning and in this process that I'm going through right now, I'm trying to shorten it for you. Meaning that if I can, I don't want to necessarily just learn it and then get 100% successful and then feel like, okay, now I can teach it. Like, I'm learning this stuff on the fact that I want other people to learn it with me. And I don't want you to have to go through a whole year or 2 or 3 years beating yourself up because I wasn't here to say some of these things that I'm telling you now. So we're going to go ahead and move on because we have a couple more to do here. But learn and apply, number 5 was where we were at. And all I can tell you guys on that, besides what we've already said, is you know, learn from the experts, learn from online courses, learn from coachings, learn from events, learn from YouTube, learn from Google, follow your leaders, follow the entrepreneurs that you want to be like, learn from them, but apply it. 6, surround yourself with people that match your desired mindset. This is important, guys. If we grew up with okay, let's take that example that I used a few minutes ago and tell you, like, my childhood wasn't always the best because I didn't always have the finer things. I didn't always have the things that I wanted to have. But I did. I was one of those kids that would go out there and mow lawns or sweep parking lots for extra money, and I would get what I wanted to get. And bet your bottom dollar, when I went to high school, I had the nice shoes. Or when I was riding bikes with my friends, I had the coolest bike on the block or whatever. And if I didn't, then you know what? I worked harder. I was one of those kids that wanted that way, right? But I also hung around with the same type of kids that were just as aggressive as I was, right? And we kind of battled with each other. So we always had bigger and better things than most of all the other kids. But it was only the things that, like, I'm talking about, like, certain things that, like, mom and dad wouldn't buy me, you know, that I would go work and make money for, that I could get on my own, you know, and I didn't have everything that I wanted. But I'm just saying is that, to put that into perspective, when you surround yourself, if you're around a bunch of people that are lying and cheating and they're getting their power turned off and they're having to, you know, do bad things and bad times just to get by, hey, you know what? It's easy when you're in that struggle to overlook some things that you should necessarily not be doing just to survive, right? You're in survival mode. But we're not talking about survival mode here. We're talking about becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a business person, and succeeding in that, right? So when we cut out all of those bad habits and we start pulling ourselves away from those bad influences, and we start getting more and more involved with those that are positive influences, and instead of watching maybe South Park, maybe we're watching, I don't know, Eric Thompson, or you know, Steve Harvey, or somebody that's motivating me instead of necessarily filling my head with a bunch of stuff. Are we following along here with that at all? Does that make sense? Or do I sound like I'm on a tangent?
No, yeah, no, you make sense, Chris. I think I could kind of give a little illustration when I was working for corporate America. So I started working for Starbucks when I was 18. Well, no, 19. At the bottom, right? Whatever, just customer. The only thing I had worked before Starbucks was Walgreens, so customer service. But on my breaks, or like when I had time, I wouldn't go in and hang out with the people that were baristas at the bottom level, like how I was. I would hang out with the supervisors and the managers because I wanted to learn about how their heads thought. And I quickly became a store manager running my own store. I was the youngest one in my area of 150 store managers in 2.5 years.
Right.
And but only because I was learning from them and basically imitating them, even though, you know, I didn't know all the details, but I got a solid foundation. So it's the same thing with Marissa when she does these trainings in the mornings and she's like, all right, you guys try this, try that. Okay, we might not know exactly what it's going to look like, but just do it. And then you'll get the result and that feels good. And then you do it again. Maybe you elevate it the next time you do it, right? So anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying. You can't, if you want to be a big dog, you got to play with the big dogs.
Hey, you know what? And there ain't nothing wrong with a Chihuahua acting like a big dog as if. You feel me?
For real.
As if.
Acting as if.
Right?
It. I mean, you know, hey, what they say, they say, if you hang around 9 broke people, you'll be the 10th, right? Okay, so what if you hang around 9 rich people?
Yeah.
Hang around bosses.
Yeah.
Or what if you hang around 9 great fathers or great mothers?
Yep. Exactly.
Things I live.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's one of those things though that, like, you know, if you're hanging around, like you said, that was a perfect example, right? If you're hanging around people that are a good influence, it's going to give you that positive perspective and that motivation, right? And in this group, all of us that are in here, I know that there are people that have been able to quit their jobs and stay at home full time. I know there are people that have been able to provide more than they were able to provide before, or have less struggles than they had in when they first came into this. And we all feed off of each other in more ways than we even realize, right? When we see that somebody else on our team is doing well, and we're so excited for that person, we know that we want that for ourselves too. And we know that it can be done through this team because we're in that circle, right? Our surroundings are matching our desires. And the people that are in our surroundings are getting and achieving those achievements, right? From the consultant that just signed up 2 weeks ago to the consultant that signed up yesterday to Marissa, to myself, to Michelle Egan, to, I mean, gosh, all of you that are working your business. And it doesn't matter what level you are, whether you just hit director, whether you're a producer, any position you are in this position or in this business, you're feeding, learning, teaching, you're representing each other, and we're all going to grow from it. But if you start, let me give you an example here. What if, there is certain chains that break, right? So let's just say you signed up somebody and you didn't get them involved in this business the way you were brought into it. And that person didn't follow you or didn't follow the training for whatever reason. Maybe you had tried, but maybe they drifted off and they did their own training, they did their own thing, right? But then they found somebody else that was training them. And that person wasn't teaching them compliance, and that person wasn't teaching them the right way and the wrong way and this way and that way. And now that person is doing things that she shouldn't be doing with her business. And that person gets shut down, but now blames you because you should have trained her properly. Those circles still continue to grow out there. Like that whole nest of those people that are doing wrong are still going to be doing wrong. We've got to control what we're doing and control our mindset and make sure that we're doing the positive. And that's what I'm saying about like cutting corners. We don't cut corners. We take the longer route. Yeah, it may be quicker to sign up 3 people real quick and get director if I bought my sister, my aunt, and my mom a kit. But that's against compliance, right? So I don't want to cut that corner and then end up losing my business in the process of it. I'm going to take the longer route and I'm going to get myself 3 people signed up underneath me and I'm going to become director. Create new habits to support your mindset change. That's number 7. If you're writing this down, create new habits to support your mindset change. Integrate powerful habits into your day that help your mindset change and reinforce your thinking with action. For example, if you're upgrading from a fixed to a growth mindset, schedule time for learning and note down your learnings and achievements every single day. Also, actively seek out challenges so you can prove to your mind that you can grow and learn to overcome whatever life throws at you. Upgrading from a fixed to a growth mindset is one of the 7 mind shifts you need to create the life of your dreams. So what that is telling you is continuously challenge yourself. If you're feeling like, man, I'm doing pretty good right now and I'm comfortable selling about 30 pieces a week, but I think I could sell 40. Challenge yourself to 40, right? All that's going to do is it's going to encourage you to do more, encourage you to be stronger in it, and it's going to help you build those habits. And just like this is saying in here, with creating new habits to support your mindset change, each habit you create, you're now habit stacking. Oh, we lost Andre. Hopefully you're coming back. You there, brother? All right. So by habit stacking, it's important that we change the mindset by creating those new habits daily, right? Once you've accomplished the habits that you're doing today, every day change something new. One day. You know what? You don't make your bed in the morning, make that tomorrow's first habit that you change. Make your bed every day. right? And I'm not one to make my bed because I'm always one that says, why when I make my bed, I'm just going to mess it up when I sleep in it again. That's kind of pointless.
That's the same thing I say.
Yep. But how good do you feel when you walk into a room and the bed's made and the clothes are put away and the room is crisp and clean like you walked into a hotel room?
I think making the bed makes the room look cleaner. So it helps me like, oh, the room is clean. It's fine. Let's move on.
Hey, it looks like something's been accomplished, right?
Right.
Something's been accomplished in that room. It looks good. It's clean. Who do we have witnessing? Is this Olivia? I'm not sure who was watching for Marissa's end.
I look like Olivia to me.
I think so too, but I've never really been introduced to him yet, so I'm not exactly sure. I could mix them up.
That's Olivia.
Oh yeah, I figured. So that's what I'm talking about. Habit stacking, though, is creating those new habits every day, right? And replacing a good habit with a bad habit, or no, a bad habit with a good habit. I'm sorry. Doing the exact opposite there, right? But replacing those bad habits with good habits.
And I also
number
say
8. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing real quick. One habit that I've been trying to continue implementing, because my consistency is not the greatest, is I've been trying to consistently post in the team page. So I want you guys to all, help me out with that by, giving me some feedback. Let me know what you think about what I post. Think I can do better? Let me know. If you like what I do, let me know. But check it out, because every morning at 6 a.m., I've been posting in the team page.
Okay. And so are you posting as Andre Marissa Clark, or are you posting as Andre?
Andre Marissa Clark is dang, because she lost her, I don't do Facebook like that. So when she lost her account, I just gave her mine. So she changed it to put it to that, and so that's why it says that.
Okay, but that's you though.
That's me.
Okay. Yeah, good deal. Good deal. Right. Well, and I noticed the one that was posted earlier today of oh man, my head's drawing a blank. Kevin Hart. Right? You posted that video of Hart earlier?
I think. Huh?
Did you post that video of Kevin Hart earlier?
I sure did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen that one. I love that video. If you guys haven't watched that, go take a look at that. And there's nothing wrong with using the Facebook, the group page to encourage each other and, motivate each other. Or even shout out an accomplishment.
Right. Okay.
So,
go ahead to number 8. Sorry.
Okay, number 8, jump out of your comfort zone. If you put yourself in situations that challenge you, you have no other choice than to rise up, and upgrade your mindset. It becomes a necessity to survive. So ask yourselves, what situations can I put myself in that will require me to operate on a higher mindset? Right? Does that sound familiar? Can anybody give me an example of that right now with something that we do often? Anybody?
Can you repeat that, Chris?
If you put yourself in situations that challenge you, you have no choice other than to rise to the occasion and upgrade your mindset. It becomes a necessity to survive. So ask yourself, what situation can I put myself in that will require me to operate on a higher mindset? Can you tell me something that we do on a regular basis where we push ourselves?
I think I have one. I did so I was in a like not the best headspace, and I did a live, and I think it showed. And even though I did not sell like one piece on that live, the next day I still put in an order for 30 pieces. Like, I'm not even playing. These are gonna get sold. This just happened.
Nice.
I wasn't, this is not my norm. I don't go live. That I want to say doing, other than selling Girl Scout cookies with my kiddo, which that's the kids in front of the camera, not me. I never went live before paparazzi. And
No,
so,
and that's great. And that sounds like a good example, but not quite what I was looking for. There's something that we all that we mention to each other all the time to do. I was kind of hoping somebody would come up with it. Marissa, you look like you came to the camera and then went away. Did you have something?
Is it be consistent?
No, that's not it.
Chris, say the question again. The question.
When you put yourself in a situation that challenges you, right? Because that makes you upgrade your mindset. It makes you find a way to get around it, and because you're challenging yourself. Mm-hmm. What's one of the things that we
don't give excuses? Is that what you're looking for?
Team challenges.
My phone rang at the same time, so I was saying that stupid phone. But I was saying, so what's one thing that we challenge ourselves?
Not to give excuses. Like, if you've got something in front of you and you're saying, I've got to get this done, you can't sit there and say, I've got to get this done, but I have to do X, Y, and Z. And oh my gosh, I've got to do that and this on top of it. Like, if you know that you have to get it done and there's no other way about it, you just got to get it done. Like, I don't know. If okay, everybody's different. Okay. So is that not it?
Well, maybe I'm overthinking it. But when I tell you this, hopefully, if I'm right, then you guys will all go, oh, that. If I'm wrong, then you guys will be like, oh, yeah, that didn't correlate.
The light bulb.
I'm talking about the chicken list.
Oh.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I really didn't know that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about the chicken list. Like, that's where we push ourselves to go talk to those people that we wouldn't talk to, right?
This is true.
Because we have to survive that. So it changes our mindset, and it changes the way we may possibly talk to those people about the business, because they're already a challenge to us.
And every time I challenge people to do that chicken list, every single time people tell me it gets easier and easier. The ones who we run through that in the Road to Director groups, and every single time we do it, everyone says it's so much easier to take the nose now. It's not as hard. And it's only because, the more that you do it, the better you'll be.
Yeah. And I think my biggest problem right now, I'll be straight up with you, is that a lot of people I don't know the same on a personal level as I used to years ago, because of the last few years that I've been in this medical situation. So, like, I feel uncomfortable sometimes talking to people that I don't feel even know me anymore.
Right.
So I think it makes it easier for them to dismiss it too, because they don't get to see all of the benefits that it surely impacts me, especially if I'm not doing what we talk about and like implementing all that we're talking about with algorithms and, showing the opportunities. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But you know what? I feel like because you were in that medical condition and you are still able to work your business, that's something that maybe you need to share more on your personal timeline, like sharing, I don't know. And I know that it's like it could be a sensitive subject, it's a personal thing. And so you post, in my opinion, you post what you're comfortable with, but it's almost that you would relate to so many people that maybe you're saying you haven't talked to in a few years. Well, how about the people that are on your timeline that maybe are going through the same thing? They aren't able to go out and do all that they want to do either, and you can say, hey, but look at what actually I've done from home.
True. Yeah. And that's a great spin for the way, and that gives me some, see, that's why we do these Zooms, guys. That's
Yeah.
why we do these Zooms. Because even myself, when I have problems like that, we have
Yeah.
somebody that can give some direction.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't necessarily, you know, Marissa came up great with that, but it could have came from any one of you.
Absolutely. And everyone understands things differently. There's people on this Zoom that will be able to relate with people on levels and things that I won't. There's things that I'll be able to relate to people that you won't, you know, and that's the great thing about that social media. Like we literally have it at our fingertips, all of these people. So yes, it's great that we've got like in-person events, and I love that everybody's starting to like come back to the world now. But don't forget, during a pandemic, we rocked social media.
Yeah, and you know, real quick, I just want to tell some of you guys that are in here that I know there's a lot of people that are upset about this whole convention situation, but I want to put something into perspective for all of y'all. I started this business about 3 years ago. And when I started it, my ID number was 125416. I was the 125,000th person to join paparazzi, right? I was in that category. That's 3 years ago. Do you know now the numbers are like 460,000 something. So in that period of time, in just these last 3 years, now mind you, I started 3 years ago, so paparazzi had already been in business for 7 years. In 7 years, they got 125,000 consultants. Okay, in 7 years, 125,000 consultants. And then in the next 3 years after that, they exploded and got 350,000 more. Okay,
Yeah.
and so
during a crazy, unforeseen amount of time, look at how much we have grown. If that doesn't show you where we're going, this company is not going anywhere. And don't ever be fearful that it's going to change $5. I've heard a lot of like chatter lately, like, oh, they're going to have to go up more than $5. No, we are not going up more than $5. Like that's Misty's like, that's never happening. Okay.
right. And so, and you know, this company is debt free. You know, a lot of you may or may not know that paparazzi is debt free. That this business in that time of COVID, yeah, there's all of that growth that has happened, but all that change too. The last time we had a face-to-face convention, a place that would hold so many people was big enough, and they were able to carry the tickets on for 6 months at a time and not have to worry about it being sold out. And then over the year of COVID changing and us going to a virtual convention and that exploding with all of these people, so many people wanted to buy convention tickets that there are elite leaders that didn't get them. You know, not everybody's going to get a ticket.
Yep. And that's not
paparazzi put all the contingencies in they could.
Right. I was going to say that doesn't make or break your business. You guys know that Chris has not been physically to a convention, and look at him here as a producer. Okay. So it does not make or break your business whether you go to convention or not. However, it will help. But at the end of the day, there's going to be people who are going to go to convention that get no, you know, they're going to go back home and not do great things. That there's just a percent of people who go to convention because it's a party, it's fun. But be one of those people that whether you're going or not, you will rise, whether you're going or not, right? And so it's flipping that negative into a positive, and everybody here could possibly be going. But if you hear people talking about this or your teammates are griping, and I understand that we can be compassionate, but at the same time, flip that into a positive. Chris can say, I haven't been. Many of you guys haven't been, and yet here you are doing amazing things.
And let me tell you that if you want something that's really going to work your business, I'm going to give you the #1 tool right now that's going to help you be successful. Okay. Are y'all, you got your paper and pen down? And it's like, learn your business. Learn the compensation plan. Learn how the ranks are made. Learn how you achieve your ranks. Learn how you get your commission check. Learn when those commission checks come. Learn the compliance rules so that you don't lose your business. Go through and read some of the resources that are in the back office. Learn your back office and see what it can do for you and teach you how to work your team. Learn. If you're interested in this business, learn this business. People don't get a job at a McDonald's working the manager by not learning how to be a manager at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Learn your business, right? There is a final exam and it's called Make It or Break It.
Yeah. You know what? I wanted to talk. I don't know who it was that mentioned about paparazzi being debt free, but I utilize that when I'm talking to potentials, because people want job security, right? Now, knowing that the company that we get our jewelry at wholesale from is debt free is huge, because they're like, really? Like, nobody hears of that anymore, right? So I say the good news is, if you're going to work, you know, you're the business owner of your business, don't fear that your distributor is going to go under. Because that happens all the time with people. Oh, I used to work for, I don't know, there was like, I know a girl who used to sell wine or something, and then they went under and somebody else bought them and blah, 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 you know. So people kind of get nervous about these types of businesses too, because, well, what if I start and I put all this money into it and time, and then all of a sudden they go under? So I like to utilize that as leverage to say, look, it's job security. So long as you're going to work it, it's job security. They're not going anywhere. 10 years later, they're still debt free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And let me ask you this, Angelina, how do you put your own personal money into your inventory?
No. I mean, what do you mean? Like, do
you let your business reinvest for itself, or do you put your own personal household money into your business?
No, I've never put household money other than my sampler pack. That's what I call it.
Okay, and
I got the sampler pack. I should have got an inventory.
Do you have?
On hand right now, I probably have about maybe 200 and maybe just a little over 200 pieces.
So you started with the $99 kit when?
I started with the $99 kit back in July. I'm about to hit platinum. Well, I mean, my goal is to hit platinum. I think my PVs, I don't know. I think I'm at like 22,000 right now.
Okay, and so of all the time that you're working your business, you know, and you're reinvesting and so forth, when I ask you if you're 100% reinvesting, are you putting everything into your business right now, or do you take a portion of that and you're paying yourself, or, you know, taking care of household expenses? And I'm asking this for a reason.
Yeah. So no, not anymore. My husband and I connected, which, I mean, I didn't sign up because I needed money. That was the truth. The truth was I signed up because I was spending like $200 and something a month on jewelry. And my husband was like, you got to figure out how to get it at the discount. What's up? Hit your girl up, right?
Perfect example. Yep.
And then when the starter kit came, he was like, you should do it how they do it. And I was like, oh, heck, no. He's like, just try it. What do you got to lose? All right. now he's like, hey, you gonna throw some of that cheddar my way? Listen, it was all his idea, supposedly. But no, basically, I don't reinvest 100% anymore. I did for about the first, I would say, close to 5 months. How I pay myself is I'm about a 30-70 split. So 30% of my clientele pay PayPal and 70% of them pay Square. The PayPal, loyal to PayPal people, that's my honeypot. That's where I pay myself. And my Square account is back to the business and all that good stuff. So I don't quite pay myself the 45% commission. I basically pay myself at 30%.
So what I want to tell you, Angelina, is that you using the company as a business and saying that that's you know, they're debt free is a great tool. What about you? What about your story? Have you told your story to anybody else and let them know that you started with $99 and that you started with 35 pieces of jewelry and now you have over 200 and something, and you've been doing this business for so long and now you're collecting a paycheck as well?
Yeah, totally. And I mean, when I ask those questions about what their goals are, big picture for their business, I don't have a huge house where I have a separate room for my jewelry. I do my live shows and everything from a corner in my master bedroom. So I don't have all this space I'm not trying to have a jewelry museum. Okay. The goal is to get it in and move it and get more in and move it.
Amen.
Right. So, I mean, obviously my average is a little over 200 pieces a week, which I'm only going live once a week. But I then I'm always growing. So I know when I order for the next week, based on how much I sold, I increase my pieces ordered by 10%. So I can always have a cushion. I'm not ordering exactly what I sold, because that's kind of foolish. How are you going to grow if that's what you're doing? I know some people preach that. I'm not going to ask you to order unless it's unless you've sold it. Well, okay. That's kind of silly in my opinion, because you need a cushion for growth. If you're bare minimum replacing what you sold, how are you going to grow?
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So but yeah, I don't know. I hope I answered your question.
No, you totally did. Okay. I appreciate that. Like I said, I was mostly just kind of going on with that part of the conversation. Okay. And for those of you, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am finished with those, kind of the message that I had for the eight ways to change your mindset. And I'm just kind of looking for any feedback. Did anybody have anything that really stood out to them from that they could share, like something that just really grabbed onto them, or something that they see that of themselves that they can do differently now that this has been talked about?
It's always about just feeding yourself with that positive thought. And going forward, you have to always think positive. You can't take the negative route because you'll get nowhere. If you're positive and you put it out there in the universe, like Marissa says, it's so true, then you get positive coming back to you. And when you're negative, you're not going to work anything anyways. So you've got to be positive all the time, no matter what. Even if I'm having a bad day, I'm always fabulous, no matter what. And people see me that way and they go, how do you be happy every single day of your life? And it's like, well, maybe some days I'm not, but I'm going to tell you that I am, because that's going to get me motivated to be happy again and move forward and just be positive and bring that good energy in. Right.
Marissa, can you hear us? Well, I wanted to ask you, so I have I set up like a little group messenger for some of us that are, into our religion or faith, and I called it Faithful Blingers. And I know you listen to Joyce every day, right? If I added you to that group, would you share the Joyce that you listen to every day into that group? Because I'd like to follow the ones that you're listening to. And I know I could probably go search her, but it would be kind of cool to know that, we already are kind of on the same mindset. So it'd be kind of cool to be in the same mindset from the beginning when I do listen.
What do you do? Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm the worst at technology. I never know what to do. I think that, and I think you're going to be surprised, because I don't pick and choose which ones I watch. I just literally, whatever YouTube gives me as my first one is, I believe, what I'm supposed to watch. And so even when I don't like the message, because I'm like, oh, Joyce, all right, really gonna make me do all those things today, okay? And she really hits home. I think that you're gonna experience the same thing, Chris, because we do think on that same wavelength. And so I'd be glad to. I do already share a few people, like in the mornings when I watch it, whether you want this link or not, here it is. And I send it every morning, because I know that if somebody sent me something every morning, eventually I'm going to be like, okay, fine, I'll click it. She won't stop sending me the link. Fine, I'll click it.
Right.
So for sure. Yeah.
Well, and Helen and Faith, they watch Darren Hardy. I don't know if anybody's ever followed Darren Hardy, but he's a professional entrepreneur, motivator, speaker, and he does one that we post every day in Team Kingdom of Blingdom. She posted in there every day. So
there's nothing wrong with it. It's positivity. Yeah. It's getting your day started. And if people are not faith-based, and that's fine, I'm not pushing anything on anyone, but plug into something, some kind of positive affirmation, the positive motivation. If it's not religious, plug into something.
And the thing is, just like we just talked about earlier, hang around 9 positive people, you'll be the 10. So guess what? Maybe if you're hanging around with them, but if you're listening to them on a video and they're talking to you, hey man, that's just as good. That's just as good. So you are what you feed your mind.
Yep, for sure. By the way, hello Veronica and hello Jules. I didn't get to say hi to you guys.
Hello.
So we've been at this at just about 2 hours now. Is there anybody that has any kind of struggle that they would like to ask us, for some help or some advice or maybe some encouragement? Anybody? And it doesn't necessarily have to be about your business, as much as I don't want to get into a Dr. Phil type session or nothing. If somebody's got something that's really troubling them, I mean, we can definitely take a minute and maybe give you some encouraging words.
We'll pray for you. Well, we're my color jewelry.
Absolutely.
I pray at the end of every one of these. Well, usually. Sometimes I forget. Nobody has anything?
We had some great information, you guys, today. Chris has done a great job. Andre, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everybody for coming. Those of you that are left, if you guys would do me one favor, and whatever your biggest takeaway was from this Zoom, post it in the link. It doesn't have to be a live. The Zoom today, my top takeaway was X, Y, and Z. It doesn't have to be you. Yep. Okay? Everybody okay with that?
I do want to say that I've been listening to you guys. I've been running around all morning. It's a super busy day for me. But I really loved all of what all of you guys had to say. The encouraging words, it's always nice, knowing that we're a group of people that are really trying to put positivity out there, and I'm not the only one doing it. I always tell everybody I have to constantly remind myself to look at my glasses half full. It's not half empty, it's half full. Every time I tell myself, I've been telling my kids, you can't look at things as half empty, it's half full. Look at the brighter side of it. Make light of it. Like, I got a ring from Paparazzi actually as a hostess award, and it says, "This too shall pass." I kept it, and I wear it, and my daughter wears it sometimes because we have to try to stay positive, because if we do that, we can change other people's views, and you guys are right about that, and it could change the environment around you. And once you start thinking about positivity and doing stuff like that, then, it changes everything. And I think it was awesome. Everything you guys had to say today was just awesome.
Thank you so much.
No.
Well, and I think that it helps to have these sessions where we can all come together and discuss these things, because we all are different people. We all act differently, we all think differently, and we all have different goals. So being able to come into a think tank or a boiler room like this and be able to talk, I think that it's great, and I named it Leadership Lounge because, yeah, I'm a leader in here, Marissa's a leader in here, Sarah's a leader in here, but every one of us are going to be leaders. None of us that are doing this business for anything more than a hobby we're all going to eventually have somebody sign up underneath us. Even if you don't want to, eventually it's going to happen. And we're all going to be leaders. But the more we can teach each other, is less wasted time, more opportunities taken, and the faster route to travel. You know, like I say all the time, like entrepreneurs can leave their breadcrumbs out there for all of us to take from. And there's all sorts of different paths we can take. But whatever path you're taking, leave your own breadcrumbs as well, right? Teach your people below you. Be the example to others, even if it's not even in the business. When it, you know, you're being an example to your kids, you're being an example to your neighbors, you're being an example to the people at church, you know. And if they're not holy enough for you, you know, it's one of those things that, like, we are all different. You know, be yourself, but put yourself in that positive attitude, and that's where that mindset comes to play. Hello, Lenora.
So who's going to be on
Hi,
tomorrow's
good
Zoom?
morning.
Who's going to be on? Who's going to be on tomorrow's Zoom?
I know I will.
I'll be there.
Right
okay,
on.
And then on, what did he say? You got a.
What did I say?
Your friend.
Oh, bring a friend. Tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah. Phone a friend. Whatever you got to do, bring a friend.
Friends don't make millions without telling their friends how.
There you go. So, Lenora, I know you just got in here and you're a little late on topic. We are at about 2 hours right now. And today we talked about the 8 ways to change your mindset. And this is going to be on YouTube as well. So you can feel free to go to the YouTube channel, Kingdom of Blingdom, and you can, you know, rewatch this or replay it. I'm also going to post it into the Team KoB and the Elite Blingers as well, because some people are lazy and don't go to the YouTube either. So I want to make sure it's out there everywhere.
Thanks. I'll be sure to go back and watch it and catch up.
All right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good, good. Is there you have anything that that you'd like to add? I know you didn't get to listen to any of what we're talking, but what do you do to have that positive mindset? Are you genuinely positive or negative?
I'd say generally positive.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I have to try to, yeah.
Are you discouraged easily though?
No, I don't say I am. No, I'm not discouraged easily. I'm always optimistic that it's always tomorrow's another day, another opportunity, another chance, you know, so.
That's great. So when you watch this video, when you watch the replay of this, you're going to already have one foot on the ground when it comes to that, because it's really just about habit stacking, building better habits, and following and implementing trainings and learning, you know, just using our mind for more than just what we're using it now.
Right. Well, I'll look forward to watching that, because there's always room to grow. I've always want to learn more and more.
So is there anything that anybody's struggling with right now that they want to talk about? No? You, Marissa?
I'm not struggling. And
I just want to say something. Also, make sure we're the YouTube page, Kingdom of Blingdom. Make sure we're liking and subscribing, because that will help the algorithms on YouTube, and, you know, hopefully get to a broader audience as well. You know, that could help. You know what I mean? Get more teammates.
Yeah, and hey, you never know. Somebody could watch this like a year from now, you know, and I mean, who knows? Who knows who it will help? It may even help somebody in a completely different industry.
All right.
Absolutely. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you on tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. So Jules is rather new in here. Thank you for coming in. And then we have gosh, well, you guys are all so good for coming in. We got Jules, Michelle, Sarah, Melissa, and myself, we're all still left. Do you guys have anything more that you'd like to talk about, or do you guys want to wrap it up for the day?
I think I'm pretty good, and I do need to get to work.
Okay.
So, but I have really enjoyed this today, and it's really been awesome and helpful. And I can't thank all of you enough.
Does anybody have a suggestion for a topic for tomorrow?
You know what's funny is Marissa's supposed to call me today at 1 o'clock for one-on-one, and I'm supposed to have questions ready, but I have no idea what I should even talk to her about. So, yeah, that's a tough one for me.
Well, you know, me and you've talked quite a bit about your business. You know, spitball some of those ideas that me and you've talked about to her and see how she feels about some of them if you want extra encouragement.
Okay. That I will do.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just want to chime in really quick, say thank you, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and do something for your business today, but mostly for yourself. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Melissa.
Bye, Melissa.
How about you, Christina or Jules? How are you guys feeling? Sarah? I don't know if Sarah's still there or not. Oh, it looks like everybody's leaving. Well, Jules and Sarah, it's just